Hey folks, Dr. Mike Israel here for Renaissance Periodization, the last and final video of Healthy Eating Made Simple, number 8, Living in Balance. The last video, we covered how to execute a maintenance phase to maintain our lost weight after a dedicated weight loss diet to become a little bit more healthier. Now, we're presented essentially with two possible options. Choice number 1 is after we finish the maintenance phase, we're stabilized physiologically, psychologically. If needed or desired, we can do another round of fat loss dieting per video number 6 instructions. Totally fine, and then another maintenance phase, and then the choice is presented again. Choice number 2, however, if we're at a body weight and a body size we like and is in the healthy range, we can enjoy our new healthier body weight for a long time to come with no immediate plans of weight loss ahead. There is no correct choice here. Both are totally fine. Having a chat with your medical doctor, with your primary care physician, is probably a good idea after the last maintenance phase you've done to see which way the doctor thinks you may need to go. So if you start at 350 pounds and now you're down at 290, maybe a few more fat loss phases or weight loss phases are in your future. Maybe not now, but maybe at some point. If you started at 170 and you're now down at 145, if you're of a certain height, most heights probably, there's no impetus health-wise for you to lose any more weight, and maybe that's not the choice for you. Now, we already know choice number 1, which is to lose more weight, works really well. You just repeat videos number 6 and 7 from the series back to back until you're at a weight you like. Now let's take a look at choice number 2, which is enjoying the new healthier body weight for a long time to come, and we call that living in balance. Okay, that term is very general term. You say, what does that actually mean? It sounds nice. It sounds very hippy-dippy. So what are we balancing specifically? Here's 4 sort of recommendations of how to do this properly. First, living in balance. Living means a long term, means doing consistent and fun physical activity you can keep doing for a long time. Sustainable. Right? Now, resistance training in some ways highly recommended, but not mandatory. But if you can keep doing this, it's a huge boost to your health and a great way to stabilize your body weight and prevent it from slowly scooting up on you. Number 2, you eat a predominantly healthy diet with all the stuff you've learned in the series. Videos 1 through 5 extensively describe what that actually looks like if you need the review. Number 3, you're living in balance, not as a robot, so some whatever meals here and there are totally fine. They can be a little bit junky or a lot junky. They can just be more of the healthy good stuff. No problem either way you slice it. You can track macros for those meals if you really like, but if you don't track macros, no big deal at all. It's totally a personal choice. Now, during this phase, you might check your body weight maybe only every 2 weeks or so. And if it's a bit on the high side, let's say you got to 145 pounds, and then after, 2 weeks, it's still around 145, 2 weeks, it's still around 145, and then you sort of go on holiday, vacation, cruise ship, so on and so forth. You come back and it's 148. Yeah, that's a little high for me. What you do is you just switch to a little bit less junk, mostly healthy foods, really sort of tighten your intake up a little bit for a couple of weeks, check it again, and rock on as usual. If it's back under or within that range, no problem, right? So it's sort of an auto-correcting thing. Losing a significant amount of weight requires really a lot of effort. Bringing weight just back down from it rising is super easy, so remember that you don't have to do a dedicated months-long fat loss diet if you've gained 3 or 4 pounds. You just have to rein it in, make it a little less junky, maybe reduce the fats and carbs just a tad. In a couple weeks, you'll be back to normal and you can reintroduce all that fun stuff that you like to eat. Now, if you feel great and if your clothes are fitting well, you don't have to check body weight at all if you don't want to. People go years without checking their body weight because when they're physically active and eating mostly healthy, they check it and they're like, oh, weird, I lost another 5 pounds because I started mountain biking or something. So it's absolutely not the case that if you don't check your body weight, it's magically going to creep up on you. It's the actions that determine the body weight. If you're eating healthy, if you're highly physically active, and you feel like you weigh the same amount because, look in the mirror and you see how your clothes fit and it feels fine, you don't ever have to check your body weight. You don't have to be obsessed with that stuff at all. Now, on the other hand, it's totally fine to check your body weight if you don't want, as long as you have a healthy relationship with it. It's just a tool to tell you something. It's not a religion. Now, The big thing is to keep that core habit of a high level of physical activity, a consistent one, and fundamentally eating well. If you have to have a meal and it's not a celebratory meal or a super fun meal for some reason, and you reach for the good stuff, and you already know how to do that from the other series, you know how to build a meal, then that is, along with physical activity, that's going to 95 times out of 100 just keep you at a healthy weight and at your healthiest for essentially infinity, right? If you're on average, every time you reach for a meal, you reach for crap, and physical activity is something you never really got married to and you hate it and you always fall off the wagon, you're going to continue to struggle. It's these core values of high physical activity and fundamentally good eating. Doesn't mean everything you eat is good, but mostly that's what's going to keep you in the game. If you do that, you're nearly guaranteed awesome health for decades to come. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, life is for living. If you need to lose some weight, get it done using videos number 6 and video number 7 from this series, and then live it up in a normal, awesome, balanced way. No value judgments. Give this some thought. If you'd like some more information, we have a book called Understanding Healthy Eating. It's on the RP website. It'll be linked in the description below. And you can learn a ton more about the details of everything you learn through this series. And if you want an app that helps you plan and execute and coaches you through a really healthy intake to lose some fat or to gain some muscle, whatever, the RP Diet app, available on the Google Play Store and iTunes. Super good idea. I helped sort of design that app, so of course I'm a big fan of it. You don't have to use it. There's tons of other great tools. We also have the simple diet templates on the RP website. You can print them up, put them on your fridge. They're really easy to read, so if you're more old school, give that some thought. Folks, 3 cheers to your long-term health, and I'll see you for the next series.